Picture the most powerful phone call in motorsport. One name on the caller ID that has ended debates, launched dynasties, and built championship resumes across 5 decades of American racing. Drivers don't just answer that call, they clear their schedules for it. They rehearse what they'll say. Some of them wait their entire careers for it. And in 2023, that call apparently reached Shane Van Gisbergen. He didn't take it. Not because he missed it, not because the timing was wrong, but because SVG made a decision that sent shockwaves through the NASCAR garage, divided the sport's fan base straight down the middle, and forced everyone watching to ask one question that nobody inside those walls wanted to answer out loud. What did Shane Van Gisbergen know that everyone else was too afraid to say? To understand what SVG rejected, you first have to understand what SVG proved. The 2023 Chicago Street Race was the first street course in NASCAR Cup Series history. And nobody, not the broadcasters, not the garage, not a single veteran in that field, expected a driver making his very first Cup Series start to win the race outright. Shane Van Gisbergen crossed the line first, in his debut, on a street circuit, against drivers who had spent years learning every nuance of NASCAR machinery. The garage didn't know how to process it. A 3-time Supercars champion from New Zealand had arrived in NASCAR and, on lap 1 of his competitive life in the series, beaten everyone. The conversation inside the sport shifted within hours. Where does this driver go full-time? Because whatever team lands him, the rest of the garage has a serious problem. And that is precisely when the most powerful organizations in NASCAR started making calls. There is one organization in NASCAR that operates in a category of its own. Hendrick Motorsports. 14 Cup Series championships. Drivers like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. built their legacies inside those walls. When Hendrick calls, it is not a team offer. It is an invitation to join a dynasty. According to reports and fan analysis circulating through the NASCAR community, SVG had that conversation. The contact was real. The opportunity existed. As one widely shared fan analysis framed it, Hendrick has championships. Trackhouse offered SFG a chance to become part of NASCAR history. That's a different kind of opportunity. That line captures exactly what the garage was wrestling with. 2 entirely different definitions of success on opposite ends of the same decision. But what stopped the conversation cold was what SVG chose instead. And the more you understand that choice, the more it stops looking like a rejection and starts looking like something deliberate. SVG didn't just pick a team, he picked a side. Before we go further, NASCAR Racing Central is right on the edge of 1,000 subscribers. If this kind of deep dive NASCAR analysis is what you come here for, hit subscribe right now, drop a like, and share this video. Every single one counts. Now, back to SVG and the bet that changed NASCAR recruiting forever. Trackhouse Racing is not a legacy organization. Founded by Justin Marks, it launched with a philosophy that the traditional NASCAR model had left serious value on the table, specifically the global talent pool that American motorsport had largely ignored. Project 91 was the centerpiece of that vision, a program built specifically to bring elite international drivers into Cup Series competition. The critical detail is timing. Trackhouse believed in SVG before Chicago, before the viral moment, before the headlines, before the rest of the sport understood what they were looking at. As one fan put it, Trackhouse believed in SVG before the hype exploded. That's something drivers never forget. And another. Justin Marks opened the door. SVG walked through it and never forgot who was standing there. On one side of SVG's decision, a dynasty with 14 championships and half a century of proof. On the other, a team with a vision and the conviction to bet on it before it was safe. When SVG had every reason to chase the safer road, why didn't he? For decades, the NASCAR formula was simple. Elite talent flows toward elite resources. The biggest organizations attract the best drivers. The best drivers produce championships, and the cycle repeats. Trackhouse's rise challenged that formula directly. As one analyst put it, the old NASCAR formula was simple. Stars go to the biggest teams. SVG staying with Trackhouse challenges that entire mindset. And SVG staying with Trackhouse feels like a statement that NASCAR's balance of power is changing. Sponsors noticed. Television analysts noticed. Competing organizations noticed. Every strong SVG performance functioned as a live advertisement for a model the traditional powerhouses had not accounted for. Every successful SVG weekend becomes another advertisement for Trackhouse's unconventional approach. And the line that reframed the entire garage conversation: if culture beats horsepower in the recruiting battle, what happens to every organization built purely around resources and history? This partnership is proof that culture can sometimes beat horsepower when elite talent makes career decisions. Because if SVG proved this model works, who else in that garage might start believing it? The fan debate that followed was not background noise. Two completely distinct camps formed, and neither was willing to concede. On one side, SVG choosing Trackhouse over chasing every big-name opportunity says a lot. Sometimes the team that believed in you first matters more than the biggest trophy case in the garage. At NASCAR on Fox. On the other, the controversy isn't whether Hendrick wanted him. The controversy is why a driver wouldn't automatically choose the safest championship path. At NASCAR Critic 24. That question landed hard because it is the one any rational actor in professional motorsport has to answer. Credible media voices including @Bob Pockrass and @Jeff Gluck amplified the intrigue without taking sides. Acknowledging this driver-team relationship had become genuinely unprecedented in the modern era. This story had grown bigger than race results. Fans weren't watching lap times. They were watching a statement being made in real time. Then SVG publicly credited Trackhouse for the opportunity that changed his career and described the organization as his home. That word lands entirely differently when you understand what he chose not to pursue. People keep asking why SVG didn't chase a traditional powerhouse. Maybe because Trackhouse treated him like family before anyone else did. This was never purely about one driver's career decision. Project 91's vision, international stars, new audiences, global relevance, is producing measurable results. As one observer put it, SVG isn't just driving for Trackhouse anymore. He's basically the face of Project 91's success story. And would SVG have won races anywhere? Probably. But at Trackhouse, he's helping build something instead of just joining something. That distinction, building something versus joining something, is the offer legacy organizations structurally cannot match. You cannot tell a driver they are building a dynasty when the dynasty already has 14 championships on the wall. As Dustin Long put it, Trackhouse's vision was always about doing things differently. SVG's commitment only strengthens the idea that drivers are buying into that vision. There is a version of this story where SVG's decision doesn't just reshape his career, it reshapes the entire recruiting landscape of NASCAR. The people running traditional powerhouses know it. The arithmetic is changing, and nobody inside those walls has a clean answer yet. Pull every thread together, and not one of them ties off cleanly. The controversy was never truly about a contract. It was about a question every driver in that garage eventually faces. Do you choose the safest road to success? Or do you stay with the people who believed in you before success arrived? As the Checkered Flag put it, years from now, people might remember the wins, but they may remember the loyalty even more. Nobody has answered the deepest part of this question yet. What does SVG's decision ultimately cost him? What does it win him? And what does it mean for every driver on the sidelines doing the same math right now? If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next. Subscribe to NASCAR Racing Central and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Now drop your take in the comments. Did SVG make the right call staying loyal to Trackhouse, or did he leave a championship window on the table? Share this video with every NASCAR fan you know, because trust me, they all have an opinion on this one. The garage is still watching. The debate is still alive. And the most interesting part of this story hasn't happened yet.